attention. We're back.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Fire the Cannon. I'm Rocky.
And I'm Megan, and we are Fire the Cannon.
Way better than last week when we've been off for a couple weeks, and I'm like, oh, the boom, where's the boom? And then I played it twice, but we're back. We figured it out again. Welcome back, Megan. As you can tell, I've been fighting a cold, so I am able to breathe today a little bit, but
hey, it's progress. It's progress, right?
I just I know I'm gonna have to be gross and blow my nose or whatever while we're here. But anyway, that's sometimes we get a cold. Sometimes we get those late summer colds, right before. I'd rather get it out of the way now and not let it slow me down during football season. Because Megan, college football is back.
It is back.
Yes. So tonight we're going to talk about, college football is back. We have a special guest, our good friend, Mike Hardball, Hardge. He's on every morning with iHeartRadio, and he's doing all the promo. He works with the university, and he got an interview with Arch Manning himself. So we're going to talk all about that, talk some Texas football, Longhorns in the NFL, and then, of course, there's always lots of top stories. Sometimes we have time to get to them. Sometimes we don't. Today we have planned to get to them, so that'll be fun. But Megan, how was your weekend? What have you been up to?
The weekend was all right. Just kind of getting ready for the craziness that's upcoming and not having a life for the next, 3 or 4 months. But it's good. It's Austin, Texas. It can't be too bad, right? So it's been fun. Got to check out Third and Longhorn. Going to rep them a little bit last night. So that was a ton of fun seeing the guys live. It was a good time, man.
We love Third and Longhorn. Third and Longhorn is really special because it's a lot of former players who really know what it's like to be in the program, and there are a couple of them are from different times, of the Texas greatness and different. Yeah, they're amazing, and they bring in, Sarkisian and all the players, and I love Third and Longhorn. So that event went well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. On Texas was there as well, so it was fun to see everybody. Big show out, so it's awesome to see them take off and do really well. I've actually I'm doing a little bit of work with them through my actual day job too. So it's been fun getting to know the guys and love seeing their program grow. So if you guys aren't listening to them, you should. It's great insight, a lot of fun stories. They've got amazing rapport. I mean, it's just good stuff, man. Check them out.
Good. All right. So I was in New Orleans this weekend with our friend Yolanda Taylor. She invited me. I was able to go to a Saints game with her last year. Her son is Jalen Ford, who played at Texas. So we got to hang out. It was so much fun because Yolanda, she's just such a good spirit. She's such a knower of ball. She knows ball. She's so fun. And so we walked everywhere. I think I got 21,000 steps on Sunday. Yeah. Ridiculous. We walked all over New Orleans, went to the game, and of course we'll talk about it later in our NFL Longhorns in the NFL. But what a big day for Jalen Ford and the other Longhorns who are with the Saints, Vernon Broughton and Kelvin Banks Jr. Huge games for all the Longhorns, and we'll talk about more about the Longhorns in the preseason, how they're looking, new ones and ones who've been there for a minute. So yeah, that was fun. We are, like we talked about a little bit last week, we're in the middle of college applications craziness. So we get to start planning which ones we want to go visit, which is kind of cool. And Megan, we are 10 days away from college, from Texas football. We have college football this Saturday, but let's look back real quick. 10 days away. 1 second.
4th and 5, the national championship on the line right here. He's going for the corner. He's got it. Vince Young scores.
There it is. We are 10 days. We are Vince Young National Championship on the line. Going for the corner. He's got it. Austin, Texas, baby. Yes, we'll be back. Texas. All the things. VY. We are VY days. Okay, also a special thing happening tonight. Again, we said Mike Hardball Hardge. He'll be joining us in 10 minutes or so to talk Texas football. But we have a special giveaway tonight, a special prize. And it'll be for, we'll let you know now, if you're streaming on YouTube, you can comment there. So go find the comments section there on YouTube. The link is posted on X, and we'll post it again on X from Fire the Cannon 1. So you can join the competition. We see CB, Miracle Martinez, Arias, they're all here. Dougie B, everyone's in ready for the contest. We just think it's the fairest way to put it all in one spot. And when we give the question, first person to answer it on the YouTube stream will get the shirt. This is the shirt we're talking about, Megan. The infamous Lost Student ID shirt. So
it's fashion. This is high fashion.
So when of course it went viral when Manning lost his ID again and again.
Like 5 times.
Yeah. But great people posted the photo so that people like me can go print shirts. So anyway, we printed a few for fun, and we actually have one to give away. We thought it'd be really fun to give one away because so many people want this shirt.
They've been a hit. And to be clear, guys, we did alter the barcode. So don't try to do anything sneaky.
Don't scan it. You can't scan it.
Thinking you're going to get scanned in and mistaken for being Arch Manning. You don't have access to this
office and get in. No, you'll see when you see it. I actually took a chunk of the barcode and went boop, 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 boop. So it's a fake barcode, but I don't know what building in the 40 acres you'll get into, but don't try to scan all that.
You will not gain Arch Manning access. That's just
so make sure you're streaming from and we'll share the link again online, but make sure on Twitter, but make sure you're streaming from YouTube during the Manning moment, which is at the end of the first hour, for your chance to win one of these shirts. That'll be pretty fun. But Megan, it is college football week 0 now. And we have, so there's some games this weekend, but there's one that you and I are really excited about because it's a player that's special to our hearts. Go ahead.
And Texas Hearts, absolutely.
And Texas Hearts, yes.
Yeah, we decided, look, like I said earlier, we're going to be crazy this season with traveling for home and away. So week 0, we're going to go see Fink, man. We're going to make the trip maybe one last time up to Lawrence, Kansas. Check them out. Check out the new Booth Stadium. I'm actually real excited. Like, of course, we're always going to support Justice. He is a Longhorn through and through, made that business decision to head up to Lawrence and is absolutely crushing it up there, man. Like, he's a captain. It's pretty interesting that you got the guys up there. Jalen Daniels, of course, has been making a name for himself, but Fink and Bryce Foster, both transfers from Texas schools. So it's going to be fun to get up there and support them, see the Finkleys again. And it'll be a good time. Are you excited? You looking forward to it, Rocky?
Yes. So we get there Friday. We'll have dinner with the Finkleys, and Saturday this is a big game for Kansas. They haven't, they've renoed their stadium, $450 million reno. Jalen Daniels is back for his 98th year of college football. He's had injury things in the past, so it's good to see that anytime, someone's pursuing their dreams on the field, he's still out there. They have the renovation of their stadium. I'm not, I've had my fallouts with Kansas fans and being in that stadium, so I'm a little bit nervous about going back to the stadium. I have a feeling they won't treat me near as badly if I'm not dressed in burnt orange.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yes, we will be supporting Finkley, of course, and Dr. April Finkley and Jacques, the parents, and just you make friends and they become family, and you go support and you encourage. And I know a lot of Longhorns have been very supportive of Justice Finkley and how well he represented Texas coming out of Alabama, to come to Texas. And so we're going to go and we're going to give love to the Finkleys. And it just worked out perfect that it was week 0. That's going to be fun. So you're driving up?
Yeah.
Friday?
Yeah, I'm bringing the dogs. I'm leaving after work on Friday and just plowing through, making about a 10.5-hour drive. So yeah, I'm honestly excited. I've been to plenty of games in Kansas and in Lawrence, and I'm excited about the new renovation. Everything I've seen, it looks pretty awesome. So looking forward to that. It's always fun to see, I don't know, I'd love for people to chime in the comments. We all know we're Longhorn fans. That's what we're here for. That's what we like to talk about. But have you ever taken that opportunity to go to a college football game that's either closer to you if you don't live in Austin, or, just to check out how other teams do it, and gone to see a college football game that isn't Texas? I think that's a fun way to check it out. I've actually talked to a few people this year who have said, in our bye weeks or, week 0 or whatever, we're going to go check out various college games around the country. So I think it's kind of cool, man. We all know we're Longhorns, but for the love of college football, it is pretty cool to see how other places do it. Rocky, is there a game? I mean, obviously you and I are going to this one, but is there a game that's on your bucket list that doesn't involve Texas? Like just a game or a matchup or a place that you want to go, even if Texas isn't there? What's yours?
Of course, I still want to do Army Navy game. We've been to Army campus for when Nadia's gone to West Point rugby stuff, and their campus is just stunning, beautiful, and the stadium looks just historic, and everything about the campus is so majestic. And I would love to do an Army Navy game. And then I was at the Navy game, well, the bowl game when they beat OU this past December. I love both teams. To be in the military and do all the military things and all the collegiate academic things and then all the football things, that's just nothing but respect. And to see all the only reason I wouldn't go is because it always looks freezing cold at the Army Navy game, because they're always in like full, all the uniforms, the ones, the twos, the threes, they're wearing them all like layered up.
Pea coats, all going on.
Matt agrees with me here. Army Navy game. There it is. And then Doug says BYU. All right, nice. And then Miracle Martinez is asking, at the game this weekend, are we going to be wearing their school gear? I'm wearing a red shirt that says just Finkley and the number 15 because I'm there to support Finkley 15. What are you wearing?
I will be in Kansas colors. I don't know that I can take it so far as to be an official Kansas gear. Love you, Fink, but that might be a bridge.
Mine's not saying Kansas. Mine is saying Finkley, and it's in red.
I mean, I dig their logo. I dig the old school.
I dig their fonts. The fonts that they use.
The JF logo. It's good. It's a good one. Yeah. It's a good one. So so that'll be a lot of fun. So talking about week 0, we'll be up in Kansas, but another big game going on. Former Big 12 foes of Texas, Farmageddon has uprooted and moved to Ireland this year. So once again, that Ireland college football being played over in Ireland. The first time that happened was 2016 with Boston College and Georgia Tech. And then it jumped to 2022 with Northwestern and Nebraska, of course, Notre Dame Navy, which was a cool matchup. And the latest was Georgia Tech and Florida State, which was a good game. And we thought it might be an indicator, but it sure sent Florida State down on a spiral. So,
that's a good point, Megan. That last year at that Florida State Georgia Tech game, it was a really good. We were all up early Saturday morning, ready for some college football. That game went back and forth, had that last second field goal, and you're right, it sent Florida State to that 2-10 abysmal season. Right after Florida State was just livid that because of their injured quarterback, they should have been in the final, the playoffs, and then they got their butts handed to them by Georgia. And of course, a lot of their players didn't even play in that game. It was just a mess, right? And they were on the road to rebuild for the following year. And they got, after that dramatic loss in Dublin, it went downhill. But I'm glad the overseas, venues are getting good matchups. Like this Iowa State, Kansas State game is a pick 'em. I mean, Kansas State's favored a little, but it could go either way. The game last year went to the last second. Like, those are good games.
Look, now that we're out of the Big 12, I can say this without getting a bunch of crap, right? But the Big 12's scrappy. There's some fun teams in there, of course. We know we had plenty of experience with Kansas State, in the Purple Wizard heydays. But that's a fun game to watch, the Farmageddon game. So, Rocky, I'm going to ask you this. If Texas played in Ireland, would you make it a point to go to that game?
Absolutely. I went to London to see my Titans, my Tennessee Titans. So absolutely. If they played on Mars, I guess I'm on a spaceship to Mars. Like, I'm not going to miss the big away game. Right. And so really quickly, I'll just show you this weekend. We have Hardball Hardge ready to join us. So we'll just show this really quickly. And then we're going to add Mike to the show. All right. This weekend, just so you know, it's week 0. There is college football, Iowa State, Kansas State, 2 ranked top 25 teams. That will be the highlight. And it's the Dublin, and it's first thing in the morning. But then you have Idaho State, UNLV. The game will be at Fresno State, Kansas. Sam Houston State, a Texas team, but they're at Western Kentucky. And then only 6:30 p.m. Stanford at Hawaii. So that'll be fun. A full day of college football this Saturday. And there's no football in the state of Texas, though, for opening weekend. That's right. All right, let's bring in our buddy Hardball Hardge. Hey,
friend, how goes it?
How y'all doing?
Hey,
It's been a minute. Y'all been okay?
We're good. How are you? How's your family?
Everybody's doing great. We're excited, just like you ladies, excited for football season and just ready because you know as well as I do, we all go through this drought. We love all kinds of sports. We all are very supportive of everything at the University of Texas and everything that goes on with it. But there's nothing better than college football at this time of the year and the anticipation, I guess you would say.
Yes, we're all undefeated right now.
Exactly. But the thing that really entertains me is like, you sit here. We were at the press conference on Saturday, and which was very rare, by the way, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But we were at the press conference on Saturday, and we were all sitting there talking about it before the press conference, and we were saying, number one, when was the last time you had a press conference after a scrimmage at the University of Texas on a Saturday? But more importantly, the countdown. We all get excited about a countdown for, this is about to be football season. But as the countdown is going on, it seems like it drags out even more than what you were doing before you knew what was happening. And so it is exciting time. And just like you ladies, as I said before, football can't get here fast enough.
That is a God's honest truth for sure, Hardge. So, hey, for the folks that are living under a rock or aren't familiar, like, you've been killing it, man, with your show with Mark Henry. Tell the good people, tell the good Longhorns, tuning in and listen where they can find you. You've been absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Rocky sent me a text earlier today. She was like, "Hey, send me your bio," and I'm like, I feel weird doing that because there's just so much. I think the best thing for everybody is just follow me on social media at Hardball Hardge. And the other part of it is just like you ladies, we're all guest appearing on so many different shows and doing so many different things. And the best way to keep up with what everybody is doing these days, because social media has done such a great job, good and bad. But most importantly, it is giving people that are true fans, listeners, and watching everybody grow, just like you ladies. You guys have done y'all's own independent thing, but most importantly, you have started the Fire the Cannon, and everybody's like, where are y'all? When are y'all? Where's this? Where's that? How are y'all? Where's this? Rocky's traveling all over the country. Megan's taking care of all kinds of dogs and cats and frogs and all kinds of stuff.
I'm the crazy cattle lady, right?
Just make sure that you keep up on our social medias to do everything. I'm at Hardball Hardge. You can always follow me at that. And then, of course, you can follow me at Morning Kickoff if you're on social media on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
It will always be Twitter in our hearts, my friend.
On Instagram, we're called The Morning Kickoff. And, of course, you can follow me at Hardball Hardge, and you can follow Mark Henry at The Mark Henry.
He's got to throw that "the" in there, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of imitators.
That's fair.
I put in the comments all the places people can follow you in case we're driving or something. It's in the comments.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Megan.
I do want to ask this as a gentleman. You're close with Mark. You know him well. Y'all's show is great. You always have fun insights, and man, you guys cut it up. Keep it real for sure. Yeah. But as a guy that throws "the" in front of his name, how does he feel about the Ohio State University? I want your hot take.
He don't feel good about the Ohio State University because it's the Mark Henry, and he's the strongest man in the world. And so,
yes,
but he wants to crush the Ohio State on the 30th. That's for sure.
I love
All
it.
right.
I love
So
it.
before we dive in, we sent you some like talking points things we want to make sure we cover with you today. I wanted to remind everybody if you're streaming on X, I posted on the Fire the Cannon 1 Twitter account that you can come to YouTube if you want to enter the opportunity to get one of these Manning ID shirts. If you want one, make sure you're on the YouTube comments. You can post a comment now to make sure it's working for you. Say hi. Say Mike Hardball Hardge, what's up? To check that your comments are working, because we're gonna, when we get to the Manning moment, that's when it's gonna happen with your opportunity to respond and win that shirt. All right.
Before we get into everything, shout out to CB, Chris Bennett. He
Yes.
is everybody's greatest producer. You know,
Yes, he is.
we will make sure that you have all the information at any time. I wake up early in the morning. Obviously, my show is from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday Central Time, and you know you get lost in all the numbers, right? Of all the players, as great of a historian as we all may be when it comes to certain players' numbers, CB always makes sure that we know whose numbers are being represented in the countdown to kickoff. So I wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to CB.
Heck yeah. And I don't know. Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Rocky.
I was just say CB and I went to the same high school.
No way.
Yeah, Lanier, which is now Navarro.
Yeah,
we're Vikings. We're Vikings.
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of mentioned a minute ago. Oh, go ahead, Megan.
No, I was just going to say, if y'all been paying attention too, Mac Brown's been retweeting the crap out of CB's countdown. So we got a celebrity in our midst. I love it.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right. So you mentioned a minute ago about the craziness, the excitement, the hype. The season is here. You're so excited. Let's talk about Texas football. They have a number 1 ranking. Let's talk about the excitement levels for this new season. Texas coming in with this number 1 ranking. We know what Sark has said. Oh, it doesn't matter. Arch had said it doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. But for you, does it matter that Texas has the number 1 ranking? And how are you feeling about the excitement going into this season?
I did we did an event today at the University of Texas for iHeartRadio and AM 1300 The Zone. And Drew Martin, the king of fun, he is CDC's right-hand man. He mentioned today that he did not realize that this was the first time in the history of the University of Texas that they come into the preseason as the number 1 ranked team. And again, as historians and people like ourselves that follow the university, that have been involved with the university, it was kind of shocking to me that when that news came out that Texas was not ranked number 1 at the beginning of the season at any time. But he also went on to say that as happy as we are with that preseason number 1 ranking, Coach Sark is like, why did we have to break the streak right now? You know, because at the end of it all, we want to see Texas hoisting that trophy, and that's traditionally all that matters. Yes, I am part of the crowd that is like, dang it, how do we have to be number 1? Because if you go through the history of the number 1 ranking, things don't turn out the way that they start. But I'm also in the new day and age to where it's like, if you've earned the respect of coaches, peers, and everybody else that's aligned with it, you enjoyed that ride. So as much as I am, I'm also, hey, enjoy this, guys, because I know it's a difficult task. I know it's a difficult situation, but there's not very many opportunities that you are going to have as a university. And the history shows you that a lot of people can't wear that badge of honor. Now, the biggest thing for me is the bullseye. It doesn't really matter because no matter what is going on, Texas has a bullseye on them. They could be the worst team in the country. They can be the best team in the country. Everybody is going to give Texas their best shot. Now Texas has a little bit more ammunition because they understand it. And for the new players who may be like, I don't know why people are coming at us like that, now they have, coach has a conversation piece to say, hey, guys, I've told you you're going to get your best shot from everybody. Now you got it. It's got a different feel to it because you're representing the number one team in the league.
All right. Yeah. So we know there's household names already on this Texas roster going into the big season. Players that have made preseason watch lists. Of course, the biggest name, Arch Manning, but you have Anthony Hill, you have Colin Simmons, you have Michael Taft, you have, Quintravion Wisener, the only, running back coming back in the SEC with 1,000 yards. There's a lot of names, big time recruits like, Wingo. What name, I wanted to ask you, who on offense and who on defense will be household names by the end of the season? Like, people are going to know these names. If you don't know them yet, you're going to know them.
Okay. So on offense, the one name that I keep coming back to, Trevor Gooseby. Okay. Now, understand. I understand that people know who his name is because he's filled in on both sides of the offensive line. But I also understand that now you have an opportunity to solidify yourself as a guy. Everybody wants to be a guy, or in women's sports, you want to be the girl. You want to be the one that everybody is talking about every single week. Good, that is. Not bad. So on that offensive line, because he is the blind side, he is the one that is now protecting the franchise, as I like to tell everybody when we're talking in closed quarters. I always call it the franchise in Arch Manning. The other part of it is you start to look at, you're replacing one of those guys that came in and started as a freshman in Kelvin Banks Jr. Rocky, you went to New Orleans. You got a chance to watch him play and got to see his greatness. So that was something, and he ended up being graded the highest graded rookie this past weekend. So you are now replacing that person. So I know a lot of people have heard the name Trevor Gooseby, but now you get to see it on a week-to-week basis. So I think that's the guy on offense, because everybody wants to talk skill positions. I want to give the guys in the trenches a little bit of love. On the defensive side of the ball, Grayson Littleton has been getting a lot of love, but the guy that I've been screaming his name since the day he stepped on campus, he's a 254 player, is Jelani McDonald. Jelani McDonald, Coach Sark talked about it this week, and it can get monotonous with the conversations because there's so much that is going on during camp. Sark can't see anything and everything until the next day or the day after that. But the name Jelani McDonald keeps popping up, and the reason why it keeps popping up is because he's grown a lot, he's understood a lot, and the biggest thing that I've said, and I said it this morning on the show, the biggest thing that excited me about everything is Coach Sark keeps talking about how good of a tackler he is, an open field tackler. And if you ladies have understood the game of football for a long time, when you watch the game of football and you create space, the one thing that you see is you got to be able to get a guy on the ground. You have to. And if there's space that is involved and you get a guy that can make those tackles, and Jelani has been that guy, I've been very impressed with what he's been able to do.
Nice. Going into his third year, he could be having a decision to make at the end of the year, maybe. I hope so. I hope he plays so well, but then he comes back next year. All right.
I love that you're pointing that out, Hardge. I think Texas fans for so long, like, we know the skill positions, right? We get excited. We know the names. But I think this year is the year, even though we lost a lot of talent on defense, holy crap, we're stacking back up, right? And what an embarrassment of riches for talent right now that players like Jelani McDonald, their name kind of gets, over the years, the time he's been at Texas, he's been making plays. He's been out there. He's been doing well. But the name almost got lost a little bit because of all the talent that was there on the field with him, playing before him, right? So I love seeing now that this program is in a position that names of guys that would be huge stars anywhere else right, are now starting to get the opportunity to get that name recognition across the country. People are going to know their names. That's coming out. So I think we have a lot of players that way. And I, to your point, Hardge, I think Goosby's one of those too. We heard his name a lot because of that A&M game and his performance there. Now, can he back it up? Will he back it up? My bet is yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. So we have to talk about your interview with Arch Manning. You and I had a phone conversation the other night, and you told me a little bit about how that came to be just out of nowhere. You were able to sit down and interview the man. So tell us, how did that come to be, and what did you learn about Arch, the young man, the leader, in those moments you had with him?
In those particular moments, you start to look around and you try to find the time, because everybody's vying for this young man's time, and they're also trying to protect him because everybody is coming after him. So I got a call and they were like, hey, get over here. You got a chance to interview Arch. And I was in the middle of lunch, and I was like, done with lunch, sprint over, got to him, and your boy almost pulled a couple hamstrings trying to get there. But I made it. And the good thing about Arch Manning, and I think everybody is starting to see a little bit of it because now he is QB1. His personality is outstanding. He doesn't take himself too seriously. I got a chance to see him at a couple baseball games. I saw him at a basketball game, and I got a chance to be around him prior to the interview. So getting to see him and then getting a chance to talk to him, it was the exact same. It felt like we were talking to a friend. It felt like if he was on here with us, he'd be cutting up as well, just because he doesn't take himself too seriously. Now, taking the game seriously, absolutely. He's all in. He wants to be great. His leadership skills are starting to show. And if you go back and listen to all of the interviews, including mine on AM 1300 The Zone and always free on the iHeartRadio app, you can go back and check it out. And you would understand that all he wants to do is play football, number one. But number two, he loves his teammate and he loves this opportunity because he understands playing college football is not just a right, it's an opportunity. College football is a chance for him to showcase his skills as he starts to grow up as a young man. And that is, to me, the best part about that young man. Yes, I want him to go out. I want him to ball. I want him to be the Heisman Trophy favorite. He wants to do all of that. But you would never think that about him. All he wants to do is make sure his teammates are taken care of, his teammates play hard, and they're put in the right position. And most importantly, the University of Texas wins. And those are the things that I appreciate, because if you talk to anybody that knows him and you talk to some of your friends that have spent some time around him, same person all the way around, and very, very respectful to anybody that comes in contact with him.
Yeah, I love that everything I've seen of him, he is just, and I'd love for you to speak to this. Like, he just seems like the most level-headed kid, but also doesn't take himself too seriously. You're speaking to that a little bit. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen such a mature guy. Like, yeah, we know the quarterbacks are supposed to have, that head about him for football. But yeah, I mean, he seems like the most level-headed dude that's able to make fun of himself, play along with the joke, be a part of it, not take himself too seriously. I love that, man. Like, I think that's a cool thing to see. It's hard not to like the kid.
The thing that I loved about it, I'm sure everybody's seen the clip about being nervous, and Kurt Bowles, who's a legend in the game. And, regardless of how you feel about Kirk is Kirk, and he's been around and he's earned that right to be who he is. And Kirk asked him, do you ever get nervous? He's like, Kirk, do you get nervous? It's just one of those things to where it's like, yeah, I don't get nervous, man. I do before, but once I get out there, get hit, play the game, it's like anybody else. The noise is the noise, but once you walk into that arena, your focus is on your craft. And I just think that kid has grown up in the point of success, and it's inevitable for him. Yes, there's going to be some growing pains, and I truly, truly wish that people would just like you said earlier, just let him be. Just let him go out there, because we've all been covering the University of Texas. You ladies have had season tickets for a long time, went to the university. You know the highs that you can have as a starting quarterback at the University of Texas and the lows that you can have. And every single one of them have come in as highly touted, the savior of the program, life-changing QBs, and the first incompletion. Get him out of there. He's terrible. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. Who is this guy?
Look,
we all know, just be patient with a guy that is getting his first collegiate start as the starting quarterback going into the season in a hostile environment against the defending national champions. Woo-saw, everybody.
That is not better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Against the quarterback that would have come to Texas, except Arch Manning committed that year. Exactly. So, and went to Bama, and, Saban left, and now he's at Ohio State. And we'll talk all about that game next week, because it seems like Ohio State and Texas are in a similar position in a lot of. All right, but let's go ahead and keep it focused with Texas here. We'll talk Ohio State another time. Can't wait. All right, let's go ahead. So while we have you, I know, Tim, that you like to do some bold predictions, season predictions too, but we like to do some fun prop kind of things, but then also some big bold predictions for Texas football this season. So while we have you here, Mike Hardball Hardge, who scores the first touchdown for the University of Texas 2025?
Jelani McDonald. No, I'm just kidding.
Pick 6.
I saw your face, Rocky. Rocky was like, wait a minute.
I would take it, because that's stolen possession. Let's go.
No, I think Jack Andrews is the guy, the tight end, the transfer from Cal. I think he's an important part. And if you go back and you listen to some of the interviews that Coach Sark has talked about, he's talked about 12 personnel and everything that's going on. He has that big package that he likes to do with the tight ends, but he also understands that, hey, this is a guy that has a lot of ability and can do some different things. So I'm going to go with him. I think he is going to be a huge factor and a big-time target for Arch Manning as the season goes on.
All right. Megan, who do you think scores the first touchdown for Texas?
Man, I want to say Wingo, just because we keep hearing about the connection that they've got, that Arch has really quietly built with him. I mean, we know that Arch got that lifetime invite to the barbecue, man. Like the way he showed out with the Wingo family, they really have connected. But I think I might go with a little bit of a dark horse here, and I might go with Parker Livingstone.
Good job.
I think that, I mentioned we were at the Third Longhorn live taping yesterday, and players up there, I think it was Hills, it might have been Fozzie, but they were comparing Livingstone to Jordan Shipley. And that to me, that's, they said that to me.
That's the stereotypes. Michael Taff is like, that might be the stereotypes.
Listen,
if there's any comparison, we'll take it.
If there's any truth to it, I have no problem with it. But I mean, that truly is high praise. Like having the speed and the ability. And we all know Ship was the guy that didn't matter what was happening. He could have 10 guys covering him. He'd still go up and get the ball. And he had that crazy speed. So I love hearing that comparison. So yeah, I think I'm going to go maybe a little bit on a limb, maybe not so bold, but yeah, I'm taking Parker Livingstone. Rocky, how about you? Who's your
I'm going with, and actually Longhorn Football Edits jumped in with me, Baxter. I just think the story, the full circle greatness of that goal line presence we missed. I know he's still not 100%. He said he was, and I believe he was, but the odds of someone being 100% from that injury in this short time to play this physical of a game, I hope he is. And I hope that he's rewarded with something on the goal line, and I'm going to go also with I'm going with CJ Baxter. I want it to be him. I
wish
really
it into
want that for
existence.
him.
Respect.
I really want.
Respect.
Yes. All right. So let's say we talked about that already. Who's going to be household names? But let's talk about the defense and the offense. And let's say start with defense. What position group do you have the most confidence in? And is there one you're concerned about? It's kind of hard on the defense to be concerned about anything, but you have who are you most confident or most concerned?
I feel the best about the secondary. Secondary is going to be one that has a lot of experience. You're going to get challenged early. I mean, I went back and I was thinking about the game against Ohio State, and you hold Jeremiah Smith to 1 reception for 3 yards. That's huge. I don't think that happens again because I think Ohio State is like, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that again.
They don't have a 10-year quarterback throwing it to them, though.
But they also have a guy that obviously they believe a lot of confidence in, and I think they're going to have a lot of schemed plays to make sure that he can get the ball. So, but I do believe in that secondary group. I think that they're going to be special. I think there's so many names that we are looking at. Obviously, Michael Taft and what he's been able to do, but Derek Williams is back. You know, the Raptor is back in the secondary, and he was starting in front of Makuba last year. So there is a lot there. And then you look at the corners, they're going to be just as fine. The team, the part of the team that I have my apprehensions about is kind of hard because we talked about it, right? Like you look at this team, and I think the strength of this team is the defense. I think it's going to be the biggest part. I met with a buddy of mine today, works for the Dallas Cowboys, and he was like, I haven't seen this much talent at the University of Texas in a long time, deep-wise. Now, we always have frontline guys, but the depth of it all. You've heard Coach Sark talk about the defensive line and how there's no separation because everybody's good. But I will tell you this, and I told him this too. I said, I was walking on the middle of the field yesterday because we had some photo shoot for the team. I said, I've never seen a bigger person in my life. And I work with Mark Henry, by the way. I've never seen a bigger person in my life than Cole Brevard.
Really?
Cole Brevard is a WWE superhero. He is a large human being. And if I know, Rocky, your seats are right there. Megan, your seats are right there. When y'all are sitting on y'all seats and you get a chance to see Cole Brevard, I want y'all to report back to me.
Will do.
He's not part of the Legion of Doom. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a massive human being, and he's just one of them. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of them. So when you look, as Doug said, that interior defensive line, the reason why you may have a question, Doug, is because you heard Coach Sark say there's no separation, and that's because they're all good. They're all good.
Oh, that's music to my ears, man.
Rod Watson, Travis Shaw, Alex January. They're just going to be rolling them through. And then you have Josiah Sharma. You have these 5-star behind them. So, we talked about that a little bit last week. Like, they brought in an All-American freshman. They brought in a player from Michigan. They brought in, these players that can contribute right away. And it looks like they're all going to.
Sark said this the other day. He said, the guys like Vernon Broughton, Alfred Collins, and everybody else that got drafted, he said those guys would not have played as much if we would have had the depth that we have coming into this season. Think about that. Think about what that means. Those are guys that are drafted to go to the NFL. And he said we needed to be deeper at that position, so they went and got deeper. And now we're like, okay, I get what he's talking about. Because I thought he was crazy when he said it. But then you start to understand, it's like, well, they didn't have the depth that they had. Yeah. Matt, it's bigger than that, bro. He's bigger than 34.
They're playing it down.
All right.
0% body fat, bro. Like he's a monster.
All right. Before we move to offense, one more defense question. Who do you want to pick a player that might lead in tackles or sacks or interceptions? Do you have anything in mind for that?
I think Anthony Hill is going to lead the team in tackles. I think I'm tired of talking about. No, I'm not tired of talking about McDonald, but I also think Malik Muhammad is going to lead the team in interceptions, and I think the team the person that's going to lead the team in sacks is going to be Colin Simmons. He's just an absolute freak, and he scares me. I've never been scared of a 19, 20-year-old kid in my life, but that kid scares me because he's got a different mindset. He reminds me, and you know, I played Texas high school football. I was recruited heavily in football. And a person that he reminds me of is Jesse Armstead. Go look up Jesse Armstead from Dallas Carter in his prime from high school. That reminds me of Colin Simmons. Jesse Armstead could have went to the NFL after he graduated from high school. I believe Colin Simmons could have done the exact same thing. And I believe that his mindset is something totally different. I don't know if he gets to the CB. I don't know if he
gets Texas record or the college football record. The Texas record is maybe within reach. That's a tough one. It stood for so long.
Ways away from him. They're not going to try to roll out to his side.
Oh, no. He's going to have to work twice as hard for his. Yeah. All right. So I think most of us are, if we had to pick an offensive group that maybe we have the biggest questions, and especially now with a season-ending injury to Kojo and, you know, Gooseby, who you were praising earlier, he's kind of been sitting some practices with a finger or something. Offensive line, do you agree that that's the biggest question mark?
Absolutely. And I think the only reason why I say that it's the biggest question mark is not because these guys can't play, it's just the experience number of games together. You got a new quarterback, you got a new offensive line. There's going to be some growing pains in that. And you play the top team that one of the teams that is top in the country, defending national champion, who returned all of their defensive front in the first game. So that is one of my biggest concerns. And Phil Steele, who writes the gospel of college football, that is his biggest concern for the University of Texas. But we say it's a concern, but they're still coming into the season number one ranked team with so much expectation and so much hype against them. But yes, I would put the offensive line as the biggest question mark.
All right. Do you have anyone you think is going to lead the team in touchdowns, rushing yards, passing yards? Make some bold predictions.
I think if we get to the point that Texas is close to the goal line and they need to have that, then I would go with your guy, C.J. Baxter, scoring the first touchdown. And I think he will be the one that can close some things out because he's a tough yardage, goal line type of guy. He can get in there. If we're going with the passing yardage and we get close, I think that we're going to have to go with Jack Hendricks. Again, I think that this is a guy that coming into the season, Texas fans need to get to know him. He's a new guy from Cal. He has got so much upside, and I believe that he is going to be the guy that will lead the team early in touchdowns. I know people are going to look at DeAndre Moore and Ryan Wingo because of the splash plays, but if Texas is making drives and they need to close some things out and they're in that 15 to 10-yard range, I think if they have to pass, it's going to the tight end.
All right.
I love it. Rocky, you got anything else?
Yeah, we're just going to say, do you have a bigger season? We'll wrap up because we know you're busy and we were able to get, half hour of your time today. We're so grateful. And I put in the comments where people can find you. Everybody knows where to find. All right. Do you have a season prediction? Are you ready to give your win-loss for the season? And are you ready to make a bold prediction of how far Arch Manning and the fighting Colin Simmons will take us this year? The finance.
Look, I'm as big a fan as everybody else, but this college football game with the equal opportunity employment and where everybody is as far as the transfer portal and everything that goes into it. That same person that I was talking to earlier, he was like, "Oh man, Texas is going 12-0," and I was like, "Hold up, let's go through the schedule together." We sat down, and I was giving him, I'm like, "They're going here, they're going there." He's like, 12-0, 12-0. I'm like, "Let me take that drink from you, bro."
Very few teams are undefeated these days.
And Sark made that a point. He made that a point that said it is going to be rare for teams to go through a season 12-0. If I could say Texas goes 10-2, plays for a national championship, gets over that hump in the regular season, I will take 10-2, get into the playoff, get over that hump, and finish the season as a national champion. I'm all in. I'm a big superstition guy, professional baseball player, played all that, had to wear same undershirt if I did the same thing, walk to the ballpark the same way, eat the same food. I'm looking at this as the year of 20-year ceremony of Vince Young and the Texas Longhorns in 2005, winning the national championship. People didn't believe it. They knew Texas was talented, but they didn't know that they were going to be that good. I am hopelessly optimistic about Arch Manning. I pump the brakes. I reserve the right, but I have Texas playing for a national championship. But the regular season, I have them going 10-2.
I'll take it. As long as one of those losses is not the Aggies at home, I will take it. I'd rather lose to Kentucky on the road than Aggies at home.
Hey, the Aggies is not the loss. I promise you that.
Okay. I don't want to know what they are. Don't tell me.
I promise you that.
All right. Well, all right. Megan, do you have anything else before we let Mike Hardge get back to his beautiful family?
No, I mean, we always appreciate you, my friend. It's great to have you back on. It's been too long. And speaking of adult beverages, we need to grab one soon.
Hey,
looking forward to the season.
I love what you ladies have been doing. I'm a big supporter of you guys. I appreciate the friendship, and most importantly, I appreciate what y'all do as far as supporting every community that y'all are part of. But more importantly, y'all keep doing y'all's thing with the University of Texas. I appreciate y'all. And as always, thank y'all for having me.
We appreciate you, Hardge.
Thank you, Mike. Good to see you, friend.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night.
All right. Good to see you. All right. Thank you, Mike. He's the best. All right. Speaking of supporting the community, shout out to Tanisha, Really Flawed Football. She's watching tonight. Are you going to win that shirt, girl? All right. Just a reminder, we're about to have our Manning moment, a segment on our show where we do whatever, just talk something about Arch Manning. But tonight is a special Manning moment because someone could win the infamous ID shirts. Put yours on, Megan. We went ahead and had a few of these printed. And I washed mine because, when they first come in the package, it's like stiff squares and stuff. And it is now soft and comfy, and it's actually quite nice. Listen, it's not the most flattering print because it makes you look like a big wall, but that's okay because it's amazing.
This is the highest of fashion. I mean, if y'all don't understand that, I can't help you. It's called fashion. Look it up. All
right. So if you're streaming on X right now, we shared the link at Fire the Cannon 1, and we've shared it from our Twitters to come to YouTube and watch. So we'll give you a couple minutes to come over to YouTube. That way you can try to, we're going to go by the comments on YouTube. It's easy just to have it in one place, right? So come to YouTube and watch it there for your chance to win. We're going to post a question. We're going to have a little conversation, post a question, and the first person to get it right, Arch Manning's going to play the video and tell you what the answer to that question was. So that'll be fun. And you could win and I have them in medium, large, and extra large. but that's it. All right. Okay. So sorry, that's just what all I ordered. All right. So let's have a little Manning moment. Megan, Arch was with the media yesterday, and that was pretty exciting. We had Anthony Hill with the new haircut. We had Michael Taft, who always is so interesting. And then, of course, Arch Manning. We kind of teased this a second ago with talking with Mike Hardball Hardge. We kind of teased about what do the rankings mean. And when Sark, side note, when Sark talks about how his players, like they've built such a culture that when the players go out, he thinks he's hearing himself talk because they all have the same thing. We talk about what's it like to be in number one ranking. Compare Sark's answer to the media the day before and Arch's.
It really doesn't matter. Like, that's how I drown it out. I tell the guys exactly that. Like, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
All right, here's Arch.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Being ranked before the season even starts doesn't mean anything. I don't even know how they get those opinions, but I feel like we do a good job of keeping the main thing, trying to get better every day and go win some games.
All right. We talked a little bit about that with Mike, but I'd like your thoughts, Megan. Does the number one ranking matter? And what are your thoughts about the team? Or do you think the team is really feeling that it doesn't matter?
Yeah, look, I think there are two answers here, right? I think to the team, I think it was probably a note. Hey, look, we're number one. Cool, whatever, move on. I love what Arch is saying about got to keep the main thing. I think this is one of the most focused Texas football teams we've seen in a very, very long time. So when they're saying that and when we're hearing it over and over, this to me doesn't feel like lip service. This to me feels like they're actually all in, right? They understand preseason rankings don't matter. That number one at this time of the year doesn't matter. They're here to do one thing, and that's get an Natty. That's win them championships and get a Natty. So, yeah, I mean, I fully believe that the team is on that level. They don't care. They noticed it. They came out. It was like, what's that meme that's like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, oh, cool. Anyways, like, I feel like that's how focused this team is. Like, it's right. That's noise. That's noise to them. Now, that being said, as a fan, we are a fan-based podcast after all. I think as a fan, we talk often about our UTSD on this show. Heck, even Hardge was talking about it a little bit earlier, how you do kind of feel a little squidgy about it. And I'll be the first to admit that was when the number one ranking came out, my immediate traumatized self, my immediate trauma response was, oh no, right? Like that doesn't feel like it's set up. But the more that it's sat and the more I've thought about it, like, man, we have been through some shit. This team has, look, I bleed burnt orange. Rocky, you bleed burnt orange. We've had our fair share of pain in the past decade or so. So I think it's okay to finally, like, maybe let ourselves just be ready to be hurt again, right? Like, trust them, love them, live in it, be happy with it, enjoy the moment. Hardge talked about this a little bit earlier. We've said this on the show. Enjoy the moment where the Longhorns are right now. Enjoy this wealth of riches when it comes to talent. Enjoy being Texas again. Enjoy that we're actually back, right? It is okay for a team with Texas's talent and expectations to be number one. And it is okay for us to be excited about that. So Texas fans, give yourself permission to enjoy this moment. Rocky, what are your thoughts on it?
I agree. I think that the team has it in line. And Arch even made that little comment, like, where do they even get these from? Like, it's not a science. Nothing's been played yet, right? Nothing's been played yet. So it's all just, guessing and guessing off rosters, guessing off coaching staffs, guessing off schedules, who's coming in with the most opportunity. So, of course, we talked about this before, that this was the most narrow margin between 1 and 2, right? Penn State was just a few votes away from being number one themselves. And so there's a lot of people who are buying in and believing Texas, but at the end of the day, what matters is what's happened at the end of the season, right? Who's ranked number one at the end of the season is what matters. And like Mike just said, 10-2, but put yourself in a position to play for a national championship
Who
would be
cares?
huge. Because
Right.
being perfect, if there was a team that was going to go to Ohio State, defending national champions, to Georgia, multiple time, SEC and national champion, still have this record of never losing at home, and if they're going to go to all these tough places to play, Florida, with the roster of NFL talent they have, they're going to do all this, and then they're going to have teams, play teams like the Aggies who are going to be good, especially by the end of the year. If you're going to make it through that schedule undefeated, they play so many ranked teams, and a lot of those are on the road. And then you have Oklahoma too, which you never know what's going to happen with that game. If you go through that game, you're one of the best teams ever. Like, to do all that and to do it with a developing offensive line and a first time starting quarterbacks, as like we were saying, first time going into the season as the starter, to do all that, he's going to really, really, really rely on the defense. I like that we talked about the talent on this defensive roster. The best thing that's going to happen for young Arch Manning is that he doesn't have to do it all himself, right? He has an elite defense he can depend on, and hopefully a run game with Baxter and Wisner together, and the other players rising up. So I think going through this whole schedule unscathed would be one of the best teams ever if they did that, right? And that's a lot to ask. So yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be tough, and that's a lot to ask. And I don't think that's why it doesn't matter if they're ranked number one right now, right? It doesn't be in the competition, be in the conversation, put yourself in a for championship.
Yeah, Rocky, it's a little hard to hear you.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Perfect.
Sorry, I was trying not to be too close because I'm like all sniffly and gross. All right, awesome. Thank you. What about we talked about media attention, and Michael Taff even made a little because he spoke before Arch. He said there was like a job they could have had, a little deal they could have worked with him and Arch together, would have made some good money. And Arch said, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want too much media attention." And Taff was kind of like, "Oh man," But Arch even said it himself. He said, he doesn't. He's not looking for all that media attention. Here it is, real quick.
I think that's just who I am. I'm not a guy that's
play.
I think that's just who I am. I'm not a guy that seeks the media. No offense, guys, but it's really about the team. 11 guys on the field, so we're excited right now. And I'm just having fun. I dreamed of being in this position, so I'm not going to take it for granted.
Puts the team first. He's not seeking media attention. It comes with him. What do you think about that balance, Megan? Because he's not the one. He does have big deals, NIL deals. Waymo and Red Bull, the big ones, right? Viore, he has those, but he's not the one blasting on social media 24 hours a day. He didn't even tweet or post. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think it's other people putting it on him, the pressure to be in front of the camera, like in these kind of events?
No, because at the end of the day, when you're the quarterback at the University of Texas at Austin, you got to be up there. You got to face that media. You got to be out there. You got to talk. Whether you love it or hate it, you have to talk to the media. It's just part of the gig, right? I think comparatively, he is probably one of the more prepared quarterbacks, if not the most, right? Like, any dude is going to be able to handle this kind of pressure. And it is insane pressure. I do think that Arch Manning being a Manning, knowing what, his grandfather being in the spotlight, his uncles being in the spotlight, hell, his dad getting in. I mean, that family knows how to manage media. They know how to manage expectations. And then you throw that in on, and again, he's that level kid. He doesn't get too worked up one way or the other. And then you throw on top of that the media training that the University of Texas gives all their players. Yeah, look, I think it is I don't want to say necessary evil, but it is just part of the job as the quarterback. As QB1 at the University of Texas, man, you're going to have to be up there. You're going to have to know how to handle it. And he's perfectly equipped. He'll handle it just fine.
Times a million with the Manning name and the Manning pressure, right? All right, Simi brought this up, so we'll talk about his grandpa real quick, and then we'll do the giveaway as we promo, brought to you by Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. All right, CB brought this up. Arch did push back on what his grandfather said about him being at Texas in 2026. That's true. So apparently, was it Texas Monthly or something where he said, your grandpa said, they asked him about, is he coming back? He's like, oh, he'll for sure be back another year. And so, of course, that affects Vegas lines and #1 draft votes. And then here's Arch's comment to that.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. He texted me and apologized about that, but I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
He doesn't even know where he got that from?
Okay, look, listen, Linda, listen. I appreciate that he needed to respond. I appreciate that he needed to respond. You mentioned this comment from his grandpa, from Archie coming out, gets everybody worked up in a tizzy. And then Arch Manning responds and says, yeah, I'm not real sure where he got that from. Well, now everybody's in a tizzy again, right? It turns into this clickbait bullshit. We're talking about it right now, right? But at the end of the day, I tend to believe Archie Manning. Like, his family Arch keeps things close to the chest. So I think him giving that response is more in line with him just keeping his stuff private, focusing on keeping the main thing, yeah. Right? Now, Archie probably has some good insight there, and that's probably the intention. But who knows how this season goes? Listen, and I'm knocking on wood as I say this, y'all. But if Arch Manning finishes the season, sorry, my dog is freaking out. See, she's worked up about it too. Look, if Arch Manning finishes the season with a Heisman and a Natty and all the records, like, are any one of us going to fault him if he decides to leave? So I appreciate that he's neither confirming nor denying what was said. He's just saying, can we just play football? Let's just go out there and play football. I respect that, man. I respect that.
Yeah, taking it day by day. Sorry. No, I think, but again, Arch, yes, those things would be great to have, Heisman trophies, all these things that he's in Vegas odds to win these things. Like, the season has to play out, right? There's been lots of people in the top of Vegas odds that were nowhere to be heard days later, right? So that's not the thing. I think the Manning, and we've heard this many times, the Manning family is about development, about patience. They don't need the money. There are some families that might need the money right away or need to hurry up and get big media deals or endorsements. He doesn't need those things. He's got them. Like, that's fine. He wants the reps. He wants the time developing in college. He wants, all that on film. I don't think he's in a rush. If he goes, it'd be sad, really sad. But if he comes back, I mean, the development behind him is, like we talked about this last week, the quarterbacks coming behind him, KJ Lacey, Trey Owens, we have Caldwell, and then we have Diabell coming, the #1 quarterback in the country coming. So the depth is there, but can't take away from that experience that he would bring if he came back again next year.
No doubt. But again, it's all speculation at this point, right? Like, do I think the goal has always been to spend time at Texas, develop, enjoy his college experience, and then move on when the time is right? Yeah. But who knows what time is right will be? All of that, there's too many factors that go into play, and all of it's speculation at this point. So, all
right. So we'll end our Manning moment talk with how his grandpa ends every phone conversation. Get down or get out of bounds. But we have to give away our shirt. So I'll let you, Megan, tell everyone about Rockin' Diamond S Ranch while I get ready for our big prize, our big shirt giveaway.
All right, absolutely. Well, y'all, with college football just around the corner, you may be looking for a place to stay. So if it's for college football, for an event in or near Austin, or you just need a staycation, look no farther than the Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. Nestled out on a beautiful 120 acres in the Hill Country, just near Johnson City. It's a quick drive to Austin or San Antonio. The property sleeps 14 with one primary home and 2 fully furnished cabins. And there is so much to do. Rocky, you and I have enjoyed this out there. It's a lot of fun, man. You can go wildlife watching. You can fish. You can play with Longhorns. You can shoot. There's target shooting out there. You can do pretty much what you want to do. And also, as you can see, great pool, great patio. It is a fun place to be. So with F1, with all of the games coming up, you guys don't pay these crazy Austin hotel price gouging prices. Check out the Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. Give our good buddy Chuck Smith a call at 512-694-1969 or check him out online at rockindiamondsranch.com.
All right. You can screen capture there if you'd like for the contact info. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's gone. All right. Here we go. It's time for our big giveaway. We're doing this on YouTube in the comments in YouTube. So y'all have had plenty of chance to test that it's working. Send us a hello or shout out on the comment. Here is the question. And we'll see who answers first on the question. So hope you got Google Fiber. The question to win one of these shirts, and you can pick between medium, large, or extra large. What level college football did Arch Manning play in high school?
That's what division? What division of high
level?
School?
Now, what division of college football, high school football did Arch Manning play in high school? All right, we got a winner. Let's see, Austin Gold. Austin Gold. Let's see if Arch Manning agrees with what you've said. Here we go. Go ahead and play. Hold on. 2A football.
2A football for that quiet response.
All right, everybody's coming in. We had Austin Gold was our winner. Let's put that up here. That was the first person to respond with the correct answer. Yay, congratulations. You can message us on Twitter, Fire the Cannon, or if you can message Rocky Knows Best or Megan at Texas Fancy Boots. And yay, you won. You can let us know how to get it to you, and we can put it in the mail to you tomorrow. And you can tell me if you want medium, large, or extra large. They're pretty cool. I have a medium, kind of roomy and nice. Like it's good. They're like unisex, whatever size.
They're pretty true to size. So y'all, we had fun doing this. We appreciate y'all joining in with this.
Stay with us though, because we're talking a lot still.
We got so much to go. But again, who knows? Maybe we give more of these away. Maybe we got more from prizes either tonight or anytime on Fire the Cannon. So we appreciate y'all being here. We got a lot more coming up. Rocky, want to break down what we're going to talk about for the rest of the
still have a lot. We had media availability. Don't leave. Yeah, we have driving and speeding, typing. Don't do that. Don't do this while you're driving. You should have been sitting at home, carefully watching the show with your iPad on the table. Yes, thank you, and hook 'em. You're going to love your shirt, and you're going to get a lot of compliments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're following us at Fire the Cannon 1. We'll keep posting when we give things away on the show at Rocky Knows Best and Megan's at Texas Fancy Boots. We're still going to talk about media availability, some highlights from Anthony Hill, Michael Taft. We have this really fun clip of Wingo, Simmons, and Taft were on with Terry Crews for a Sonic ad, which is amazing. We're going to talk about Auburn. Really? We're going to talk about Auburn football today? They're acting a fool. If we get time, we'll talk about OU, Texas Tech, and we still have to talk about Longhorns in the NFL. So let's keep moving. Congrats to everybody. Yeah, lots of great answers. I wish that people had gotten sooner, but Austin, you win. And your name is Austin. That's amazing. You should win that.
It's a sign.
Yeah, and everybody can see who got in first. All right, Anthony Hill. This is a clip of Anthony Hill from the media availability yesterday, and I caught something, and I don't know if anyone else caught this little phrase the way he phrased it. Let me see if you catch this, Megan.
I'll say I love how physical we are. Like, we're a really physical football team or defensively. So one thing, that's all I ask for. We play physical and we be smart. That's one thing I can ask for if we can live with the results.
Did you catch anything out there?
Being physical?
No, all I ask for. When he phrases it, all I ask for, to me, that means he's a leader on the team.
Yeah.
Demanding excellence from his teammates. Yeah. That's what I'm asking for. Because he brings it himself. We know he brings it himself. He's one of the best players in the country. But when he says that's what I'm asking for. Like, a nice way of saying that's what he's demanding, holding everybody accountable to, expecting from that defense. Be physical, play smart. That's what he's asking for. And of course, with the media, he says, that's what I'm asking for. And at practice, he's probably like, because we heard him on the open mic, like he was pumping everybody up, and on the Longhorn Longhorn Network. He was pumping everybody up, and he was really positive and encouraging, but he was out there, demanding of his team. I thought that was pretty interesting when you catch those little, like the way people phrase things matters too.
It matters. Absolutely. Look, and we know he's been a vocal leader on this team. So it's good to see him. I love that you caught that. I love that you pointed it out because it's very true. How you talk about it, like he's putting his guys on notice. What I demand, what I ask for is this. And so, yeah, I think too, to the physicality. I mean, that is something that we know that Sark has talked about a lot. We've seen Texas teams under Sark progressively get more and more physical. That conditioning is there too. So we know, we hear over and over how much of a grind the SEC is. And to an extent, that's true, right? It absolutely is. You got to be conditioned. You got to be strong. You got to be physical. You can't get away with stuff. You can't pussyfoot your way through this season and expect results. So I think that physicality, I think we are going to see combined with the talent that we have here and the coaching and the experience. I really think that physicality is going to jump out as a specialty and as a key for this Texas team this year.
All right. Let's say Michael Taft, he was also in the media availability. He talked about Manning. Sometimes he wins some, sometimes the defense wins. Like they're really being competitive and helping each other, the offense and the defense. And I really appreciated when Taft talked about, he talked about how the offense and defense, it's kind of like the iron sharpening iron, right? Here, let's listen to him here.
Well, it helps us when Wingo and DeAndre Moore, Parker Livingston, all those guys, Emmett Mosley, when they're really good, because there's days where we think we're really good and then we get absolutely burnt. So it helps like that they're really good. But they tell us, hey, on this route, this is what I saw, this is what I'm going to do. And then we tell them vice versa, hey, on this route, I knew you were going to break here, yada, yada, yada. So it's been really cool.
Well, Rod Babers, our buddy Rod Babers, who we're hoping can join us soon. I think it's in the works, maybe. He talked about that, but back when he was playing at Texas, they would get together, pick an offensive player, defense player, and go have dinner or hang out and watch film together. What did you see? What did I see? When I did this, why did you do this? And how much of that we talk about all the time, like competition, like two linebackers competing for a spot, and those kind of iron sharpening iron. But when you have offense, wide receiver saying, I saw you cut here, or what did you do here? What do you think about that, Megan? Like how good when you're going against 5-star against 5-star or All-American against, elite recruit or top transfer?
Yeah, look, there were two things that jumped out to me in this clip. Number one, Rocky, you and I have watched plenty of Texas football games together, sitting right next to each other, saying similar things, talking about it as we're going. 2 years ago, what was the thing that I screamed probably the most? Communicate.
Oh, communicate.
There were times that in the past, this Texas team just hadn't quite figured out how to communicate, right? On the field, maybe off the field. But that to me, so Mookie talking about how they're talking to each other, what they're seeing, they're sharing notes, right? Like this is a team that is playing for each other. They're brothers. Like they're going to go up, they're going to fight each other tooth and nail. They're going to go at it. Like you said, iron sharpens iron, but they're also going to talk because offense sharing what they saw and defense sharing what they saw, that makes both sides better. And so to me, that's really encouraging. Again, considering where this team had been in the past, seeing that communication on so many different levels is it just makes my little burnt orange heart swell. Now, the other thing, I'm going to pull a Rocky here. The other thing I noticed about that, what did you notice about that clip, reading between the lines? What I noticed was Mookie was hoarse. Taft didn't have a voice.
His voice. He's lost his voice from having to shout and direct.
So the way that
pull him out because they need other people to talk now too. Yeah,
exactly. So just like you notice with Ant Hill before, with him saying what I expect, what I demand, he's communicating with his guys, he's being the leader. To me, Michael Taft come into this media availability right after practice, right after scrimmage, and barely being able to talk. Hell yeah, I love it. That means that man was out there directing traffic, telling guys where to go. Yes, it is, Jesse. My dogs and cats are just being insane right now. So
That's
please,
okay. They're excited about the season coming up.
that's Kevin, and she has been
Megan has cats.
something. I do. I have cats and dogs and cattle. Who knew?
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely. It to me, seeing that communication on a lot of levels and how that's coming through, that's a really exciting thing. That's one of those intangibles that you don't necessarily see all the time. You don't necessarily, not every team has that. So that's encouraging to me.
All right, let's play the next one. Colin Simmons was also available for the media. He talked about, we talk all the time about Sark has some philosophies about playing time, or, don't just count your reps, make your reps count, especially when they get so deep in some of these positions that you might get a few snaps and go make the most of them. But also, we never really think about a player that is just excited to do more in their snaps. Like Colin Simmons was talking about, he wanted to go rush the passer, and PK was like, slow your roll. And then he learned something about what it was like to, let me find this one.
I was telling my teammates this one story. I was asking my coach, I was asking PK, I was like, PK, let me rush. And then he was like, just wait, watch this. I'm gonna drop you one more time. So he dropped me. My other teammate came from the other side. They slid my way. My other teammate came, I think it was Jalen Gilbo. He came from the edge and got the sack or whatever. And so it's just, stuff like that, them little things be, opening my eyes that, it's bigger than, what I want. It's what's good for the team,
What maturity. One of the top players in the country, one defensive freshman of the year, and here he is. It's not about me. It's about what works for the team.
Again,
culture.
Every single part of this communication works for the team. Keep it real, like not listening to the noise. This is all culture. And I know we talk about that a lot. I know it's probably a worn out word at this point, but it's true, and it matters, and it makes a difference. And I love seeing it come together on this team right now.
All right. This was Colin Simmons, I think it was his Instagram post. And I like that he puts a 1 in Colin because there's only one L. And he's probably spends his life telling people there's only one L in Simmons. So his L is a 1. Colin Simmons, at Colin Simmons, he put this: when Julian Sayin, the quarterback of Ohio State, was named the worst kept secret ever, that there was actually some kind of competition. Everybody knew it was going to be Julian Sayin. When he was announced by, Coach Ryan Day, that he was going to be the starter for the Texas game, Colin Simmons posted a picture of the quarterback. And there were so many great comments about, like, target acquired, it's fixed, it's over now, like obituary, start the obituary. Like, people were having so much fun with what Colin Simmons posting this. Just no comment, just the photo. Like, I got you. I
gotta ask, Rocky, do you love this? Do you hate this? Do you feel this is a distraction? Do you feel
didn't say anything?
Is it bulletin board material? You tell me.
Of course, but just like Anthony Hill was asked about it, like, what do you think about Simmons being active up, something along the lines of and Colin Simmons says, well, you can back it up. You can back it up. So
I agree. Look, the best part about it is he didn't say anything.
No, right.
For all we know, he was just posting a picture out of respect.
Right. Yeah, congrats, friend, for being named.
Congratulations.
It could have been
congratulations.
Oh no, we know, but, yeah.
Again, but look, I love it. I love that is that Texas swagger, right? And exactly to the point. Texas is. We talked about that media training earlier, right? They're social media savvy. They know what's going on. I think at this point, these guys have earned the ability to talk a little trash, right? They've earned that right to talk a little mess.
But I don't think he's talking trash here.
I don't think it was ugly.
No.
I think he absolutely was talking trash, but I don't think it's
just posting the picture.
Yeah, look, listen, that's intentional for sure.
I mean, I think it's an I see you. I don't think it's you suck.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Talking trash doesn't have to be
bulletin board material, yes. Talking trash, I don't think that's really talking trash.
I'm just saying there was intent behind that.
Oh,
put him on notice. Put him on notice. It's saying it without saying it, but saying it with your chest. I'm here for it. And again, it was in line. It wasn't overboard. It wasn't ugly. It wasn't, it wasn't a low blow or anything like that. It's a picture. I love it. I'm here for it. I love that little little shimmy that he probably had when he posted that.
Yes, he's probably been watching film on Saiyan since January 15th or whatever it was last year. All right, when we knew we'd be playing them next.
Yeah. So a couple quick notes, because we're getting on. It's 9:30. We appreciate y'all being here. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We are Fire the Cannon podcast on YouTube and Fire the Cannon 1 on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and Instagram. So just a few notes left from that media availability from practice. We do know that, of course, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. Gooseby is sitting out, but fear not, guys. This is a abundance of precaution kind of thing. Sark did mention if we were playing tomorrow, Gooseby would be starting. He'd be playing. So you breathe a little bit of sigh of relief. Be happy that he's getting a little bit of rest there. We also know that Baxter's feeling great. So this is a good sign. We have some folks looking forward. Rocky, you picked CJ Baxter, as the first to score a touchdown this season. So love that. Love to see it. And then I think we should close out our this little bit of Texas football talk with a little bit of fun, commercial.
Okay. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. The whole thing is almost 4 minutes. But what happened was, we all know Terry Crews. He was on, he was on Everybody Hates Chris. He was on White Chicks. He's been on a million things. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like just so many great characters. He's such a great actor. He's so funny. So he opened this is a Sonic ad, and they brought in Ryan Wingo, Colin Simmons, and Michael Taft from Texas, with Marcel Reed and Ruben Owens from the Aggies, and they all came to the Terry Owens Acting School for Athletes. So you can go find this. It's 4 minutes. I'm just going to play you like less than a minute of it, but it is genius comedy, training them all how to be actors for a Sonic commercial. And I'll just play a little bit of it for you.
I have some practice burgers for you. Show the burger. Let's hold it. Oh, you're squeezing way too tight. See that bun? Oh my God, be gentle. Hold it like your girlfriend. Good. Oh, hey, look at that. You held it too loose. You dropped the burger. Now we're in overtime. There we go. Yes. Good job. Now they're ready for real burger work.
Oh, it's so funny. And the part I wanted you to see, it's coming up next, you'll see, but when you go watch the whole thing, Colin Simmons bites the burger and he's like, that's unbelievable. That's too much burger. Or it's so delicious. It's so funny. He's like, that was believable. Too believable? He's like, no.
I love it. Look, it's so they get to show their personalities. But I think my favorite part is none of these guys could keep a straight face with Terry Crews. He just keeps going, and he's just dead on, and they're all dying laughing. So
the way
he commercial, love it. Listen,
but yeah, he makes Marcel Reed look terrified. It's so funny. Anyway, yeah. So, do you have a favorite Terry Crews role?
Do I?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I definitely think his lieutenant role there I really enjoyed. But, I mean, it will always stick with me that he was Terry Crews, office linebacker, like kind of how he got the acting start. Those things are still hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I love him at Everybody Hates Chris. I love him. I mean, there's so many great lines in White Chicks, like so many great lines in that movie. But I just love what he was like such a cheapskate father, but he was so hardworking, but he was such a good dad. I loved him on Everybody Hates Chris. That was one of my favorites. But he's been around forever now. Like, he's done so many things. He's such a successful actor as an athlete.
Absolutely. Look, you got a lot of supporters for White Chicks as a favorite role. I will tell you a dirty little secret. I have never seen White Chicks. Not once.
I know. And you get on me for not having seen movies. I have seen White Chicks a ridiculous amount of time.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter that you have not seen it.
I haven't. I like to think that I watch cinema.
Oh, it's cinema. Movies. There are so many lines from this movie.
Could I sound like a bigger asshole right now?
It is so see, everybody agrees. White Chicks, White Chicks, White Chicks.
Cool. I get it. That's your jams. I respect it. I'm still sticking with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right. That's funny. Okay, we have promo for the big game next week.
What a way to start the college football season on Fox and to start the Arch Manning era for the Texas Longhorns, a playoff rematch. It's Texas and Ohio State on Big Noon Saturday, August 3rd.
All right, to start the Arch Manning era. They didn't say starting the Julian Sayin era.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. We've talked about this too. I'm a little burnt out already. Kind of in the same way that I love McConaughey, but I'm a little burnt out and seeing him all the time everywhere. I'm already a little burnt out on the Arch Manning saturation. But again, who cares? He wins. He lives up to it. Texas wins a natty. Whatever. Let's saturate everything. I'm good with it. But yeah, I mean, that is the storyline, right? Arch Manning is actually the starter at Texas now. So it's exciting. Big noon kickoff. What do you think? You excited? You love it? You hate it?
Well, I love that it's a morning game for us because being in that kind of hostile environment, and we know the players and coaches all would rather play in the morning and not sit away at a different city all day, overthinking the game, right? They want to get up and play in the morning. I love that it's an away game, especially for those of us who will be in that crazy stadium. I don't want to be there at midnight when they're drunk trying to make their ways back to their car. You know, we've had some bad experiences walking back to our cars after big wins. So yeah, that's I'm excited. I love the big noon kickoff. I love the commentators. When we go back and watch the replay later, it'll be fun to hear those voices. So more Texas football news, but this time state of Texas. Texas Football Live posted the chances of making the playoffs. And some of this is just rude. So Texas, of course, 86.7% chance to make the playoffs, which would be the third year in a row. Texas being the only team that's made it 2 years in a row. Aggies are at 38.8. I thought they'd have a little higher percentage than that.
I did too, honestly.
I thought they'd be more 55%, something like that. Baylor 12.5. Tech, after dumping all this money, we can have this conversation, Megan, after dumping all this money in this roster, hoping to win a Big 12 championship, which would automatically give them a spot in the playoffs. 5.3% chance. And then UTSA. And then look at this. Texas State, North Texas, Sam Houston with less than 1%. But how are you going to give Rice and UTEP 0% chance?
Yeah, look.
I mean,
Rice,
0%? Are they not even playing games this year?
They're definitely the nerds, so they will understand what an absolute slight it is to have a 0.0 statistical chance of winning a championship. Or not even winning. It's not even winning a championship. It's going to the playoffs. Look, I get it. I appreciate that they had to list everybody because, you know, if they had left Rice and UTEP off, inevitably people would be like, well, what about Rice? What about UTEP?
At least give a 0.001 or 0.00001.
Something.
To have a 0% chance, you're not even playing football this year. What if you beat everyone by 100 points and they just had to put you in, you know, as an at-large? Well, I don't even know what conferences these people are in, the ACC or something. I don't even know what conference they're in.
That's the point, right? Like the competition that they're playing, even if they went undefeated, which they won't. You know,
I know.
I get it. Look,
bless their hearts.
Bless their little hearts.
UTEP.
I know. We've got a friend of the show, you know, EP Tex. We know UTEP is your number 2 team, man. So sorry about that.
They will not be in the playoffs.
Sorry, they will not. They shan't be in the playoffs this year.
your weekends will be free in December. I'm sorry. Like 0% chance. That's just rude.
Well, we're talking about free weekends in December. I want to talk about weekends right now. Rocky, have you seen that our favorite Mac Brown has been living it up in Austin, Texas? Have you seen any of this? It's just a quick note, nothing crazy, but he's been out. He's been posting. I love Coach Brown, and I will always support him. And I still remember his like dancing in the locker room, right? Like
at North Carolina.
Yeah, look at Coach go. But he's been out and about. There's our boy Quan Cosby, of course, Vince Young. He's been hobnobbing. So he showed up at the there was a charity concert for the benefiting the flood victims. So he was there. met up with a lot of folks. He was at Texas practices, and then you see him here, of course, at the Lone Star Luncheon with a lot of former Texas greats. But it's fun to see Mac Brown that he's not coaching. He's just living his best life in Austin, Texas. I love it.
Yeah, he's living his best life with VY because there they are again. Let me post this picture with Matthew McConaughey. I hadn't seen all of these. I know he's always been staying close to the program, and he's doing that podcast with VY. And yeah, so that's there they are with Matthew McConaughey. That's good.
It's great.
Good for him.
Like I said, it makes me happy to see him smiling.
Yeah, everybody loves Coach Brown. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else before we give a little love to some of our Longhorns who are in the NFL?
Let's do it.
And then we have some fun top sports stories, all the wackiness that's happening around. Okay, so this weekend I was lucky enough with my friend Yolanda Taylor to go to the Saints game, the preseason game, and it was exciting because actually Spencer Rattler, the former OU quarterback, brought them back in the second half to tie up the game. And what the game-changing, turning momentum play of the game was our Jalen Ford, who had a interception. And here's the play.
And the pick. The linebacker gets it. Jalen Ford. He missed a couple of opportunities in the backfield for stops, but read it beautifully.
All right. Why do you have to say he missed a couple of opportunities? That's just rude. Like, why do you have to say that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Got it. That negative announcing. But, man, that was beautiful. Just going up, snatching the ball right out. Read it pretty. I love to see Jalen get his opportunity out there with the Saints. And, look, we all know it's the Denver, the University of Texas at Denver with the Broncos, with all the Longhorns on that team. But New Orleans isn't far behind them. There's a lot of Longhorns on that Saints team.
Yeah, we have 3 Longhorns. Vernon Broughton with a fumble recovery. Mama B, she's our friend, and she's been on the show with us before. And she, her son got a fumble recovery early in the game. We know Vernon Broughton wearing number 91 on the defensive line for the Saints. And then we have Kelvin Banks Jr., who Mike Hardge mentioned, he's already killing it in the NFL. He was one of the highest rated young players this weekend. There he is training this week. We have, let's see who else has been killing it. Gunnar Helm with my Tennessee Titans. Can I tell you how exciting it is that Gunnar Helm is on fire? Because I watched this game was Friday night. He had a stiff arm from just an elite stiff arm that put one player to the ground. And then he had a bullet catch between 2 defenders for a touchdown. And he got to keep that football for his in it first. It's preseason, but it still counts to me. It counts to Gunner. Yep. How exciting is that?
No, it's been really great to see. Again, we did go through a little bit with the drought. Yeah, the NFL drought, but Texas in the past 2 seasons has put more players in the NFL than any other school. So it's really great to see. Not only is Texas putting players in the NFL, and yes, it is preseason, but we're still going to get hyped about it. These guys are producing. They are the preseason is when they get that opportunity to get some snaps, get some experience, and prove that to earn that spot there. So like you mentioned a little bit earlier, Kelvin Banks he is the highest graded pass blocking offensive tackle this preseason at 88.1. You just mentioned Gunnar Helm with the highest graded with the highest graded rookie tight end for week 2 at a 90.2. So 90.2. And then again, this is, so that's for highest graded rookie tight end. Makuba had a great outing with the Eagles, highest graded rookie in week 2 period. So
overall, right.
Listen, these guys
6.
Yeah.
And OU quarterback.
and whether they're your NFL teams or not, we always love to support our guys as they get on to those next levels. Seeing these guys go out again, Jahdae Barron had a nice outing. Ewers, there's been a lot of hype about him down in Miami, and it seems like a really good fit for him. So there's a lot to be excited about, and watching these guys not only get drafted, not only make these teams, but also starting to show that they can make a name for themselves in the NFL. That's fun to watch.
Yep. Chase Daniel posted Quinn Ewers stats: 11 for 17, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 123 QB rating. And we know the first week was not good for Quinn Ewers, right? It was not good. He lost 2 fumbles. I don't even remember how many passes he threw, but only a couple were caught. His receivers didn't help him, but also he lost 2 fumbles. It was not good. And he redeemed himself, and Arch talked about that too. Like how do you learn to manage being on the road and stuff like that? And Arch said he learned from Quinn how to shake it off, how to move to the next play, things like that. Quinn had all week to sit on that performance that was not good. And he came back and, like Chase Daniels said, that tape was phenomenal. So big improvement. Hopefully it's enough to keep him, on that 3-deep quarterback, keep him with the team. Isaiah Bond, he had his issue with that was all apparently cleared. He was not being charged after all. So right away, within minutes of the judge's decision, signed with the Browns. So good luck to Isaiah Bond. And then, of course, we wanted to wish Hayden Conner. Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah, no, we Hayden Conner, unfortunately, this was, again, his first NFL start, and unfortunately suffered a knee injury early in the game. So he will be out for a few weeks. It is a week-by-week situation. We just wanted to wish H, get well soon, my guy. Like, you're going to come back stronger than ever. It's going to be awesome. We're all rooting for you. So sending out lots of love to Hayden
and
the Conner family for a fast recovery. Absolutely.
Yeah, poor thing. All right. So the good thing is and we'll just kind of touch on this before we get to our top stories, but we know Texas has had 23 players drafted in the last 2 years, right? And like you mentioned, there was a drought for a minute of players not, people not looking to Texas for development or being able to get Texas players undrafted free agents, and a lot of those are still in the league, right? There was a drought from the draft for a minute. Now Texas has the most draft picks of any school in the last 2 years, and to see them be prepared, not just get drafted, but this kind of early production and high grades going into these early preseason, when they're playing against like experience, it's going to take a time and a curve to when they get thrown into real action. But to see that they're ready and contributing and grading really well, that's going to speak so highly for the development still coming through, right? When you have this next round of players, it's not going to be this big number this coming year. Not going to break a record again because there's not that many draft eligible players in 2026. But what do you think about how does that speak to the development of this staff that they go in all ready to contribute?
Yeah, look, I think it speaks for itself, right? It is, you can't emphasize enough what a massive swing this has been for this Texas program. For years, we had Texas recruit. Oh, look at these highly touted classes, these number 1, number 3, number 5 classes in the nation. And at the end of the day, Texas was just falling short of expectations and just couldn't get over that hump. And then, we went through the NFL drought, which was unheard of at the University of Texas. So to come from that point, to understand that kind of low that Texas was at, and to see now, like you mentioned, like we're not just putting a high volume of players into the NFL, but they are showing up and showing that they can compete day one, rookie seasons, make an impact on their team. Again, I think that's a massive improvement. It speaks volumes for this coaching staff. For a long time, that was a huge part of negative recruiting against Texas. Can't develop players, can't do that, right? And then that narrative's gone now. You don't have that anymore. So can't speak highly enough of Coach Sark and his development and his staff and what they're doing for our guys going into it. So yeah, it's great to see, exciting. Can't wait to get even more braggadocious as a Texas fan about how many players are in the NFL. Oh, look at our stats now, right? Woo. So it's good. It's good, man. Got that swagger back.
It helps with you get a number 1 recruiting class. They see this they sign, and then they see this next development of draft picks, and hopefully it's a cycle. You keep putting top talent in the NFL, you keep competing at the highest level, you keep competing for championships, and you could maybe one day have a little bit of a dynasty if things Stay well. All right. We got to win a championship, though. Got to start with a championship to have a dynasty. All right. Let's talk about, we never talk about Auburn, right? They've embarrassed themselves, Megan. Let's talk about top sports stories. And one of the top stories this week was the joke of Auburn. And the Auburn.
I had to do it.
They Aggied it up, Auburn.
Auburn went full Aggie.
Awarding themselves multiple national championships.
Look, you never want to go full Aggie, and Auburn went full Aggie. So I had to create the Tiger Milkman there.
That
right?
was good.
Yeah, look, I feel like I was almost speechless when that came out. I mean, it's college football. It's crazy. But come on, man. Like, how did you think that was going to play out coming through? Like, you can't just claim national championships. You remember, I mean, God, who was it? UCF a few years ago.
Yes, because they went undefeated.
They went undefeated and said, F it, we're claiming this national championship. Like that.
They hung a banner, didn't they?
They did. It's on their buildings and things. I can maybe possibly, I don't know, potentially give a nod to that because of where you finished. I don't know. It still feels dumb to me.
Very dumb.
But listen, Auburn coming in and claiming multiple championships and like unabashedly doing so. I don't know, man. It just, to me, that reeks of a program. Like, you're retiring Cam Newton's number. Focus on that. Why are you taking away from that by claiming these bullshit titles? And I don't want to, let me get this out of the way. I don't want to hear anybody talking mess about Texas's 1970 championship because Texas, that's how things were run at that time. Bowl games at that time were basically an exhibition game. The national championship was decided by final ranking, by AP, by coaches poll prior to the bowl game being played. So that is a legitimate championship. I'm not going to take that away from anybody in that college era. That to me is far and away much different than post, claiming your national championships 115 years past the point of it happening. That's such an Aggie move.
We saw that. Yeah. We say it's an Aggie move because we saw when they rebuilt Kyle Field and did all the work there. We saw they pulled it down with a couple of conference championships and put it back up with all these other years that they did not win.
It's a miracle.
They didn't win. And it's so easy to prove you didn't win those. Why would you do this? But as you mentioned, what Auburn is doing is giving retiring Cam Newton's number 2 jersey. Of course, he has all the accolades worthy of that national championship.
Why not talk about that? Why not talk about that?
They flooded themselves with negative media instead of this positive media they could have had.
You buried Cam Newton and his celebration by being foolish. I don't get it. That is a rookie ass move. That is Bush League stuff. You played what is it? Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah. They look so dumb. And one other thing that Auburn is, people are laughing. They announced that they're going to have 3 different play callers. They're going to have a coach that calls first down. They're going to have Hugh Freeze call second down and the head coach. Then they're going to have a third down calling specialist. But Hugh Freeze can override those. This is multiple reports. But Hugh Freeze can override those at any point. And they're all going to be battling who's calling what. And they're all going to all magically be in a rhythm together of the flow of the game.
What I hear
is that going to work?
You've got 3 play callers, you got no play callers. This makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know. Like, this isn't some kind of kumbaya situation. What you're telling me is that you don't have confidence in your coaches to know your players and understand the game to make the right calls. So we're just going to go round robin and give our best guess depending on the down. I don't get it. I don't think it's going to work well. I think I don't know. It just screams, we don't know what we're doing to me. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. All right. Let's talk about Lee Corso, college football legend, tradition, icon, right? So lovable. They're doing a special, right, called Not So Fast, my friend. You know, that's his catchphrase. Lee Corso special airs Friday night, 8 o'clock our time. Are you excited to see this? I'm definitely going to record it and watch it later when I can watch it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I have a feeling this is going to have one of those like, special ESPN piece. It's just going to be a tearjerker. It's going to be, Lee Corso has been such a mainstay in college football for so long.
Long.
You gotta love the man. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be. I feel like I need to be in a safe space surrounded by people I love to watch it so that I can just be
I don't know about all that, but
I'm going to be a snotty crying mess watching this. I think it's going to be a tearjerker. So I'm excited for it, but I'm going to need some support as well.
Oh, I'm not going to be all that invested.
I'm emotional. Again,
I know.
I'm emotional when I watch stuff.
My first thought when I saw that is in the 1 hour special, it's probably going to be 48 minutes of commercials. That's my first thought, because whenever they promo
ESPN way. Yeah.
Yes, whenever they promo a thing for so long, the commercials are there's too many commercials. All right. So, but do you have a favorite Lee Corso moment?
I don't know,
that you hope makes the cut?
I feel like anything Texas related, I'm going to want to see. Clearly my bias is showing through there. I don't know. How about you? Do you have a favorite moment that sticks out?
Didn't he pick Texas to win the USC national championship when no one else did?
I think so.
Or was that? I don't know. I have to go back and look. CB will know.
Of course, CB's got to have his favorite.
I don't know.
We'd love to hear from y'all. Do y'all have a favorite Lee Corso, coach moment? Can it be Texas related or not? We'd love to hear it for sure. Yeah, that's right. See, Matt, thank you. He did.
He did. I thought he was like the only one that picked Texas that day, and he even did, hook 'em helmet or whatever. Here's CB. Yes, he did. Thank you. That's what I thought. That to me would have been like, that stuck to my head. Like, I think he did that, and like nobody else picked us, but he did, or something like that. Right. All right. So, Megan, what could possibly go wrong with having 3 different coordinators call the offenses? What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with selling access to post-game media at Oklahoma? So they're selling it, Megan.
Let me address this. I want to say something loud and clear. I definitely think, again, we're in the NIL era. We see schools. Sorry, my cat is freaking out again. She has feelings too. We're in the NIL era. We're seeing schools like Texas Tech spend unprecedented amounts of money to get players and talent on campus. So I understand that in this high stakes game, you've got to find new and exciting ways to make money as a university, to fill those coin purses so that you got the money to spend. I get it. I do understand that. But the University of Oklahoma announced that they will be offering a package. And again, Texas offers some pregame packages. There's plenty going on. But OU is now doing a post-game media access pass for you and a friend. The cool price of $692.11. Rocky, do not forget the 11 cents. The first thing I thought, I want your knee-jerk reaction to this. When you saw this, what was your first reaction?
They're broke. My first reaction was, do they really need money this bad? What are they going to sell? Maybe 10 of these, right? The media rooms are already pretty full after games, especially, they have.
But is Oklahoma's?
But I'm just saying, there's got to be some media people that want to cover them.
There are.
Little sad room, and they're going to have maybe 10 people buy this. So maybe they make a few $1,000 a game.
How many do
5 or 6 home games? Is that worth embarrassing yourself this way to get Bubba and Bubba Joe to come in and be mad at?
I understand searching for new and creative ways. But to me, this is just another, oh my gosh, bless their hearts moment in a series of these guys don't know what they're doing moments for
There
Oklahoma.
Another thought, yes.
And it feels like my first thought was, well, golly gee, what could possibly go wrong by allowing fans, emotional, possibly inebriated fans,
definitely
into a post game. And we're not just talking
with
like
professionals who are trying to do their job.
That part, like allowing them into these post game pressers, whether Oklahoma wins or loses, doesn't matter. You're going to grant a possibly drunk fan access to players. You're going to allow them the opportunity to be disruptive and share their thoughts and feelings, right? We are in a touchy-feely society, so share their thoughts and feelings during a immediate post-game presser that involves kids, right? Kids that are coming off of either the highs of a win or the lows of a loss. I just feel like this is a recipe for disaster. Now, I would like more information. Are you going to put them in like a soundproof phone booth in the corner of the press, like the media availability? I don't know. Like, how do you limit that interaction? How do you protect your players? How do you keep a professional environment when you're allowing fans to buy their way in? I don't know. It feels like one of those things that somebody thought it was a good idea and nobody really thought about how to execute it or the potential. Like, this was a marketing guy's idea that doesn't understand football.
Like, man, I wish I could have gone to a game and
right.
gone in there, and I have questions I want to ask. They should have asked this.
Right.
For $700, $690.11.
But at OU's athletics department, there isn't a single adult in the room to go, hold on, maybe this isn't a good idea. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe it's a nothing burger, but it just seems like a recipe for disaster to me.
I can't wait to see how that turns out for them. All right, Megan, the NFL is back. We know there's already preseason playoff standings. Like, what are the odds of your team making the playoffs? You have two teams. I have my favorite team and then another team I cheer for, and then now other teams I cheer for. But mostly my team is the Titans, of course. We had the number one pick in the draft this year, which means we stank the most, and we are not anywhere near these playoff standings predictions. Do you have any teams? I see your Texans on here, and I see your Lions on here, both about to go 10-7 this year. What do you think?
I think for the Texans, 10-7, I'd be fine with. For the Lions, 10-7 for me would feel
all back
like a disappointment, right? Like, we know Hutch is coming back, and again, maybe I'm too many rainbows, too many bits of sunshine here, but I feel like Detroit was a play or two away from the Super Bowl this past year. So to go from that and those high expectations now to possibly finishing fourth, at 10-7, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel like that would be a letdown for Detroit.
Yeah, I like the AFC standings, Baltimore, Buffalo, KC, Texans. That looks really legit. All those Longhorns with the Denver Broncos you mentioned up in there competing for a playoff spot. On the other side, is Baker Mayfield really going to be that good with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that they're picked to finish one in the NFC? Wow. San Francisco, Eagles are always up there, and they're your Lions winning their division. So predicting to win their division. And then, of course, there's Washington. My teams are not on here. Of course, there's no Cowboys and there's no Titans, and I don't expect there to be for a minute, but that's okay.
So not to add insult.
My eyes are watering. I'm still fighting this cold. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Not to add insult to injury here, but I have to ask you personally, Rocky, like, how do you feel about the Jerry Jones comments of, I'm not changing a thing, we're making money? I'd never bring a GM in. As a Cowboys fan, I have to ask you, how do you feel about that kind of stuff?
I don't listen to him. I don't listen to him. It's been a minute since his control of the team and not winning championships are one circle, right? Like it's not a what do you call it? Not a Venn diagram. What do you call the two overlapping circles?
It's Venn.
It's not that. It's just a circle. So as long as if he takes money over championships, that's what his fans have to live with.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yep. Anyway. All right. So let's wrap up because it's already 10 o'clock. I just want to show you one more thing. I'm a massive Charlie Brown person, and I love Charlie Brown so much. It's very special to me and my dad. And this company, Streaker Sports, just released this line of peanuts. I'm not a Snoopy fan. I'm not a Snoopy fan.
I love Snoopy.
I love Charlie Brown.
I love Snoopy.
I don't like when I search Charlie Brown and I get Snoopy. I didn't want Snoopy. I wanted Charlie Brown. Anyway, they have this little collection with some baseball, some football, the whole little Peanuts gang, Snoopy. But this Charlie Brown throwing the football with the Texans, they have it in the T-shirt and they have it in the hoodie. Don't worry, I've already sent the link to Richard because my birthday's coming up. But this is a must-have. This Charlie Brown set. So if anyone else is a Peanuts gang, it's streakersports.com, and there's the
and the co-op is selling it too. Co-op is selling
it's at the co-op already.
It sure is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Cool. Well, you've definitely got your cross fandom there in the Peanuts in Texas.
Peanuts are coming way back. They're like everywhere now. Well, mostly Snoopy.
Peanuts nostalgia, right?
I know, but it's like really popular right now, Peanuts. And I'm glad I hope people go watch the shows again and read the books again and the comics because it's just so lovable, that little group. They're so
absolutely.
Cool. Anyway.
Well, y'all, speaking of a lovable group, from our lovable group to y'all, we want to say thank you again for being here. We appreciate y'all. Congratulations again to Austin for winning that incredible piece of high fashion in the Arch Manning ID shirt. Rocky, thanks for putting those together. You guys stay tuned. We're going to have more announcements like that. We got a lot of fun lineups coming up. We got a lot of fun guests and maybe some more giveaways, y'all. So always please like and subscribe. Be sure on YouTube, we are at Fire the Cannon Podcast. On Insta and Twitter, we are Fire the Cannon 1. As always, y'all, I'm Megan.
I'm Rocky. And we're Fire the Cannon.
Welcome.